Welcome back to the Agony Booth. I am your co-host, Captain Joe Dove, on shore leave. As you can see, I'm representing the great city of Baltimore, where my grandmother's family is from, because I'm relaxing. I'm chilling, man. I'm groovy. I'm easy. I'm happy to be here, man. I've got my guitar ready to rock. All right, we're going to get right into it. We're doing some great stuff this week, and I'm just going to go around and introduce everybody that's on the show here. We've got Herbert below me. What's up, buddy? Herbert. We've got our returning We've got our returning special guest, the amazing, the inquisitive, the awesome Star Trek guy from TikTok. Yay. Welcome back. Thanks for coming on.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yes.
Sure.
I just wanted to say, rest in peace, Nichelle Nichols. A legend has passed away, a true trailblazer. I really wanted to bring that up because it's a very sad moment for the Trek community.
Absolutely.
And she's not in the episode we just watched, so that means it's a terrible episode, right?
Yeah. I did find that when I watched the episode.
Yeah, that was weird.
This is really odd that it's missing, that incredible actress.
Yeah. Nichelle Nichols.
But she is replaced by the same actress who replaced her in the Doomsday Machine also, so it's at least there's some continuity.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Second shift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whoever was taking a long rest.
Yeah.
She smelled the hippies coming and was just like,
I'm
no,
out.
No,
Not
child,
those
no,
guys.
no.
No way. No, thank you. And of course, our other co-host, the left to my right, the king of Australia himself. That's so Jason.
Yep, not only a Raven reference, but also that's my name, Science Officer Jason.
Yes,
Very nice.
Brilliantly done. Brilliantly
Works
done.
on two levels, yes.
It is.
That's it. No, wow, this one. Not completely as bad as I remember, but we'll get into that.
Oh, this is hard for me to watch.
It took 4 attempts for me to watch this episode all the way through.
Ooh,
I watched it twice today.
Oh,
I love it.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
He's prepped.
All right. So let's go into what the F did we just watch? Ooh.
Yeah, I felt like that. That was I felt that a little bit after I watched it.
Yeah, that was rough. A group of idealistic hippies led by an irrational leader come aboard the USS Enterprise. Star Trek, Season 3, Episode 20, The Way to Eden.
No, that was a very charitable description of this episode. Very charitable.
He's very lean, wasn't it?
Yeah. This was painful to watch. The concept, watching the guy play that strange guitar and just hop around in those. So I work for a shoe company. So I was looking at those thigh-high boots and I was like, oh, yeah, we make those now. They were predicting it in the future back in the 60s, but we don't make them for men. That's a little bit, to each
That's
their own.
awfully limiting.
Right. But
yeah. That actor, by the way, is Charles Napier, and he had a very long career as a character actor. You may have seen him in The Critic. He was the voice of Duke, and he was in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery as the man who said that we saved them all from World War II. And also appeared as Rex in Deep Space Nine's Little Green Men.
Oh,
so he passed, I believe, in 2012, but he had a huge, prolific career that he almost torpedoed by appearing in this episode with that god-awful costume.
That costume was ridiculous, and
you know his boys were separated during that entire time.
Oh yeah,
that chain was just like divorcing both of them.
Yeah. And I found it also incredible that remember how we were talking about? Okay, we just got to come up with weird aliens, so let's just throw some stuff on their foreheads from the Deep Space Nine episode that we talked about last week.
Well, that's where they got it from.
Yeah, this one they were like, let's just put some clay on the guy's ears, and then he's an alien. Okay, set.
Let's give the guy big purple eyebrows, and yeah, that's another alien.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But
we got a wig backstage. Let's just cut some eyebrows off of it. It's fine.
Oh my god, look at this suit, man.
Yeah, it's the wig as well that he wears. Look at that. Check out that wig.
That wig is.
I love the egg on his shoulder. That's just yeah. The Egg Council had something to do with that.
Yeah.
I don't normally criticize costumes, but Jesus, that's all I can say.
All right, Star Trek guy, let us hear your opposite reaction.
Well, there are a couple things that I did have qualms with, so I'll just get into that there. Number one is the horrendous quality of audio difference that happens when
that's a good catch, man.
it's just wham. It's just all of a sudden, oh, he's singing? Oh, all of a sudden we're in a studio.
Yeah, very good catch, yeah.
When near the end, when he's faking dead, you can quite clearly see him open his eyes for a second, and then you can see his fingers twitching the whole time.
He was a musician, it's just that's the muscle memory working through there.
He was still playing.
I don't mean to interrupt you, by the way, Star Trek guy. I don't mean to interrupt you, but something I found during my research is that Charles Napier, the actor who sang those songs, actually wrote the majority of them.
Oh wow!
So he was a very talented individual.
IMDb page, though,
Absolutely, I wrote those horrible songs in that one episode of Star Trek we don't talk about.
Wow.
The one that gave me testicular torsion.
Go ahead, Star Trek guy.
I was watching it. I watched it first by myself, and then Mom came home, so I watched it with Mom. And one of her things she came up with
why would you do that to her?
Was how bad Chekhov's hair is.
Oh, yeah.
Holy guacamole! Yeah. It looks terrible.
Yeah, he went from like Beatles to like
it's the hair helmet from Back to the Beach. Look at that.
Yeah.
He could fall off a motorcycle, hit his head, and not even be injured.
No. He's
it looks like the head from a Lego character, doesn't it?
Everything is awesome. You have not appreciated the Lego movie until you've seen it in the original Russian.
Yeah, oh my god. And amongst the other terrible things, at least for me, one last thing I got to bring up is how pointless was the connection to him and the other girl. It just...
Well, they needed some kind of an excuse for him to be a complete idiot and explain to her how to take over the Enterprise.
Oh, man.
It may have been pointless, but it was a nice connection. And it was about them simply, they took different trajectories in life. And that happens to people sometimes. And it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that shown on television, where it's like, hey, we had a thing for a while, but we just are totally different people. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know what? And the point to that could be also because it's a product of its era, isn't it? So in the 60s, that may have been a progressive form of storytelling. Just seems very dated to us now.
Yeah, maybe because it's just
I have very violent thoughts, and I will get into here in a minute. I warned you all. I have very violent thoughts about this episode.
Star Trek guys, is there anything else you want to add before we move on to Science Officer?
Nope. I have good thoughts now. So let me battle with Herbert for a while.
Bring it.
Uh-oh. Oh,
I don't have glasses to put on. I can grab my phaser rifle from above me, but that's about it. I mean,
there you go.
My phaser rifle's right there.
It is.
That is beautiful.
Right? I had some of the
Okay,
best
now I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous, angry, and I have violent thoughts.
So you're Cisco.
Yeah,
there you go.
I do have the holy hand grenade of Antioch over there, though. I think that would beat a phaser rifle.
Maybe 1, 2, 5, 3, 3.
I'll just set the phaser rifle to self-destruct. If the phasers can do it, the phaser rifle can do it too. I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Science Officer, tell us what the F did we just watch?
A show that felt like made up of bits of other episodes. It's where this episode lets us down the most is the actual story and the plot. The fact there's no real character development. In fact, people like Chekhov are not even behaving like. He's playing this stoic, solid by the Starfleet kind of guy in this, and In other episodes, I've seen a different side of Chekhov. He's a bit more younger and rebellious, who by design is supposed to be a bit younger and rebellious.
Right.
The villain was pretty. I mean, it's a plot about like the dangers of becoming part of a cult, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
It's like the Manson family in
space.
space.
23rd century version of either David Koresh or it was Axiom. That sex cult.
Yeah, Nexium.
That's what I mean. So
isn't that like an anti-acid?
Yeah, it just felt very lazy for me. And the problem is there's probably about a half an hour good episode here, but the rest of it just drags so much. We go over plot points we've gone over again and again and again, and it just becomes a rambling mess. That's the problem with the episode, but it has its charm.
Yeah.
Wait, I just thought of one more thing, just really quick.
Go for it.
There is no way in heck that after being complicit in almost killing the entire ship, are you walking off a free man? I don't care who your father is.
Yeah.
After you just tried to kill the entire ship, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
Well, they were also doing like negotiations at that point, so maybe the Federation was like, if you want your son not to go to jail, maybe you should give a little on a few things we want.
That sounds too clever.
I know.
Yeah, it does. The other big problem with this episode is Spock. Why is he so fascinated? Why, for a science officer who's a Vulcan, is he so enamored with this crew, with this lifestyle?
Because he got to break out his guitar. He was like, oh, you know what? I can play with you too. Look.
Yeah.
Well, they actually gave a reason for that in the episode, which I actually
and I think
thought
it was a good reason.
Good. Yeah, it was because Spock sympathized with them because they existed outside of culture, and he said, "I have some experience in that myself." So, him existing kind of outside of Earth culture and Vulcan culture, maybe he saw them as a kindred spirit. It's not a great explanation, but it is good character development. It's an explanation
that would work well for a different species.
Yeah.
Not for a
I think Spock has that. Spock has that need to belong as well. Yeah.
But how does he not? Someone is that smart, not pick up straight off the bat. I mean, we as an audience saw it a million miles away. This guy is a cult leader. This is a cult. Something is wrong here.
But he was putting
to assume that these group of people have figured out life.
Well,
he was putting
this
episode.
Yeah, this episode needed everybody to be a little bit stupid.
Yes,
it was required.
That's a big problem. Yeah, 100%.
And they explore these same ideas in Strange New Worlds with Spock. Exploring his feeling in between Vulcan and human society, feeling like an outcast of both.
Again, I will lean on better storytelling, better writers who are able to articulate this in such a better way than they did in this episode. I don't mind. I mean, there are several other examples throughout the series that Spock, enamors himself or is fascinated by a certain type of species. But this one felt so egregious, like, surely you would have a problem straight away with this.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Lots of people should have seen.
So I'm hating on writers who probably have now passed the mortal coil and have amazing careers that I will never know.
I wrote Batman and Robin. We have a friendly hello from Aaron Sugar. To quote the hippies, "Why do you wear those clothes? How do you breathe?"
Well, that came back to bite him in the butt later, though, didn't it?
It did.
I just wanted to see Chekhov go, "Oh, you don't like my clothes, huh? Well, look who's not burning except for right here."
I thought that was a funny line, though, when they said it.
It's like, little did they know.
Yeah.
I will admit, I'm wearing the uniform right now. I have the black pants on. I've got the undershirt. I've got the overshirt. I am pretty hot, so I can kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
I'm not
I'm
even
in the
wearing
basement
pants
right now. Oh my.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think you'd want to wear those shorts that guy and those thigh-high boots, though, especially if it's hot like that.
Part of me wants to cosplay as Adam, though, because I think that would be an amazing cosplay. On anyone else but me. I would just do it, like, ironically. Like, I'm Adam if he could eat the fruit and not die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I ate all the fruit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, is that a negative to the end of this episode? The way they tie it up, the twist at the end. How do we feel about that twist? Because part of me going, I like it, but a lot of part of me went, ugh.
Yeah. Let's move on to the why would you do that? Because that's a fitting place for this conversation.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Every time.
There is nothing there.
There is nothing there. Yeah, that's so fitting. So fitting.
Is it time for my violent thoughts yet?
Yes, I want to hear Herbert's violent thoughts.
Okay, here's Herbert's violent thoughts. Okay, so we are in the we are in the ending years of the 1960s at this point. The hippie movement is a thing, and it continues to be a thing for several years. Watching this episode, I got the distinct impression that this episode was an old man's commentary on those damn hippies. Because, and here's what I'm thinking. The hippies are shown to be selfish, they're shown to be stupid, they're shown to be short-sighted. Yeah. And Kirk and the Enterprise and everybody therein are very much an authority, they have a job to do, and they all have a stick that has gone where no man has gone before, so to speak. I just see this as a very authoritative establishment take on hippie culture. And I know today everybody, loves to make fun of the hippies and everything. But to me, I think that this episode was punching down, and it was punching down in a very insulting way many times. And as I said, the hippies in this episode were shown to be super selfish because they were going to go to a planet, and Dr. Severin was Severin or Severus, I can't remember. He's got this disease that's going to kill all the natives on the planet, which of course we never see any natives on the planet. I guess they ate the fruit too. Yeah, I don't know. To me, it was almost like a caricature of hippie culture thrown into this episode by some old white man who wanted to just really give it to the hippies. And I think that is very unfortunate because Star Trek during this time was appealing to young people. Right. And so I see it as a very insidiously generated episode.
Now pushing the conservative kind of agenda at the period?
I don't really want to call it a conservative agenda. I guess you could, but they were definitely pushing an agenda with this episode, and I found that very disturbing.
I think you bring up a good point though, because you think about probably what the average age of the writer was at that period. They would have been in their mid-40s, group of white guys in their mid-40s sitting in a room together. It would be very easy for them to,
I would even go as far as say this was probably like a network mandated thing. Somebody from the network called them and said, "Hey, we need something to really stick it to the hippies," And then Star Trek, which had been very progressive in many many ways. We were talking about Nichelle Nichols earlier. George Takei, Walter Koenig, all there on the bridge. There was a huge diversity to the cast. There were lots of very progressive views on this show, and then all of a sudden, nope, hippies are bad. It was just very jarring.
Almost every decision they made too was looked upon negatively, wasn't it? Every action they did. When they did their protest, they came down hard on them quick.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Star Trek guy, what were you going to say?
Talking about George Takei, he has a hilarious scene where, knowing what we know now, him being a openly gay man, is he's flirting with the one lady, and he's just got this huge smile plastered on his face while he's hitting on her, and they're hitting on each other, and it's just hilarious knowing what we know now.
Well, he did say, there's no excuse, Captain. I'm toying with this woman. That's
simply creepy though. That the captain's there lurking around a beam. I think.
It's like
Mr. Sulu, explain. I'm a man and she's hot. What other explanation? You explain. You explain, Captain.
Yeah.
I just want to see Captain Kirk trying to get with the next alien who's on the ship, and Sulu sticks his head around the corner. Explain, Captain.
Yeah, wow. And then can't get how Mirandering this episode was. It felt like it got to the point where it needed to be within 15, 20 minutes.
Yes.
And then we get no less than 3 musical interludes in this.
Yeah.
They're so fun.
I would use the word pandering, really.
Yeah, like
They're completely pointless and mean nothing, but they're fun.
They're pandering is what they are.
Pandering, you think?
Pandering, they're very pandering. Again, it's that insidious undertone to this episode. Like we're going to speak to the young ones and tell them why they're wrong the entire time. Ho 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 ho! Give me my cigar. I don't know.
Oh boy.
That's just
There's
what
some funny. I mean, there are some funny bits in this. I'm going to play this kind of clip, even though there's no audio. We'll talk over it. And I played it before, but there's this great scene in a minute where we actually see if you can spot the. Is it this scene or was the other one where they're playing to the crowd? No, this one here. Apologies, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
The bicycle wheel.
Check out the grip in the background. We're in the jeans. I'm going to play that again.
Wait. Say
Play that
what?
again. Check him out. Look, they just got one of the crew to sit in there at the back.
And he's wearing jeans. Yeah.
I will be darned.
Wow. 40
They
years
weren't even
later.
trying at that.
Nice.
No, they were
Nice.
like, yeah. We're
Well, you can
following
actually
this.
see the boom mic at one point. I can't remember which scene it is, but yeah, you can see the shadow of the boom mic, and it's
And this is what's spun
They
me out
didn't
too is
care.
the negative. You know, they'd redone all the special effects for this, right? And that's what I was watching, the remastered ones. And I don't have the clip of it, but the scene where the ship's going to blow up because they're running it too hard, and it so looks like it's on a string just being moved side to side.
It was because I remember the old version of it.
Absolutely.
They took the Tholian ship and they just glued nacelles to it.
Yeah.
And they just
And they
it
were
was
just
bad.
swinging it back and forward, and I'm going, that's bizarre because they went through every frame of this and digitized all the shit. Do you think
maybe-
you would have made a bit more realistic kind of maneuvers happening there? Anyway, that's one of the.
He didn't
I mean,
care.
there's a lot more to nitpick on this episode and all that. But,
Yeah.
Yes.
Star Trek guy, let's hear how wonderful you enjoyed it. Let's hear all the good.
should we move then to redeeming
Well,
features?
I think Herbert's got some more. I don't want to cut Herbert off early. I mean, if
you still
he's
got-
you
got like a
more,
list,
mate?
right?
Yes. Have you got?
Do I really strike you guys as the kind of person that would put together a list?
Yeah, you did so last episode.
No, yeah, he did. And he did
So
it this time too.
we're still on cons, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Go through.
Chekhov, huge stick in the mud.
Yeah,
I've already
straight
said that.
arrow all the way. Yeah.
I've already talked about Adam's costume. The security guy who was guarding Dr. Severus. Whenever they're playing the
Close your eyes and
music,
turn around.
yeah. What's his name? Rad, which I think is hilarious. That one of the guys' names is Rad. You know, he just sneaks up behind him, and the security guard is literally doing this.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's like, wow, that is some top tier writing right there. And you know, Rad has the great value Vulcan neck pinch where he has to use both hands, and the guy doesn't drop silently. He goes, "Ugh!" and then he falls down, which I thought was hilarious. I don't know why I did so much trivia on this one, but Jack Napier eventually appeared with Clint Howard, who famously played Baylock in Austin Powers. They were in the movie together, so I don't know.
Dude,
if that
I
was,
love Clint Howard. Clint Howard's amazing.
Clint Howard is a national treasure. I love the man.
Napier ended up being in Silence of the Lambs too, if you remember that.
Did he?
He was in Silence of the Lambs.
So everyone on the ship is being attacked by the sonic attack that was all knocking them out.
Right.
And yet Kirk managed to do this Herculean feat where he gets up and walks into another room and presses a button.
Yeah.
He's
No
Kirk.
one else on the ship could do it. I don't know. I just thought it was
Kirk.
very weird. Also,
He's Kirk, man.
Also, in the 23rd century, during this time, the Romulans simply did not care about the neutral zone as they do in the Next Generation. You know, you look at. Oh, I know.
He's
I know.
Kirk.
He's Kirk. Oh, you can also see Shatner's girdle in this episode in several shots.
Oh, you can.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
you
can.
get
So
the
that's I don't know.
girdle.
Anyway, the Romulans don't care about the neutral zone during this episode as they do in the Next Generation. In the Next Generation, you can look across the neutral zone and they're in a bird of prey going. In this one, watch out for the Romulans. Where are they?
And in another thing about the Romulan and the neutral zone, it says that they're in the neutral zone, where earlier it was established that if you go into the neutral zone, that is an act of war. You have to stay out of the neutral zone. Going into the neutral zone is an act of war, but it's like, oh, we're just in the neutral zone, we're fine. Oh no, now we're in Romulan space. Now we're in trouble.
They didn't care. Whenever they wrote this episode, they didn't care. On the planet, you can tell that the ground was literally nothing but carpet draped over foam.
Yes.
Because whenever they stepped, the entire green just kind of like sank down, and it was hilarious. Another thing that I wrote here about the establishment versus hippies episode, where they were talking about how hippies were all bad. We kind of went on that earlier. Is that it was the hippies' lack of clothing that did them in, and what more conservative white manish can you get than saying you should wear more clothes? And that was my list.
Well, it was basically a lack of shoes, wasn't it? A
Yeah.
lack of decision making and a lack of shoes.
Well, maybe if Adam had laid down on that gigantic chain that was separating his junk the entire time, he would have, lived. I don't know. You know he sang a song as he died.
Oh yeah.
You know he did.
Yeah, no, there was no time. Apparently this poison is immediately acting. So why don't we take some of those fruit and let's make some more of that poison, because it worked like that. It was like once you took a bite, and 2 seconds later you're on the ground dead.
Eat this fruit. Don't ask me why. And if I eat this fruit, I'm gonna.
Exactly.
What a way to go, though. That when I was watching, I'm like, oh man, what a way to die, though. You're eating something and it's acid burning the inside. Pretty fast acting.
Wouldn't you be able to smell that though? I'm not eating that. It's burning my hand.
Like the brightest sparks to you, though, really.
Well, they didn't say that the fruit was full of acid. They said it was poisonous. So that is something. I do want to give them that.
True. Okay. Yeah.
They said that the flowers and grass were.
Yeah. I don't know. Just seems like to me, if you're burning your feet on the grass, don't eat the fruit.
Don't eat the fruit.
Usually, don't eat the fruit.
Well, he had those thigh-high boots, man.
That was giving you a message not to take LSD.
That's what that was.
Well, you know, Dr. Severin was Dr. Severin was based on Timothy Leary, who was big into taking LSD. That was another note I had here. But yeah, I'm just like huge into trivia.
Our friend Aaron says again,
the budget for the episode.
5 episodes from the end, they still needed room in the budget for an Abraham Lincoln costume.
Hey, you know the only reason why they did an episode with Abraham Lincoln is because the show next door had a spare costume, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to do a show with Abraham Lincoln."
You mind if I borrow that real quick? Yeah.
Oh, another piece of trivia. Here we go.
All right.
The reason why the hippies were calling everybody Herbert is because the person who wrote the script wrote that as a direct reference to 4-time director Herb Wallerson.
Right.
So they were making fun of a real person there. Now I don't know if there was like any beef or any kind of shade being thrown there, but Herbert was a real person.
That's such a Herbert move.
It is.
So Herbert.
It is.
Yeah. Anyway, should we go into the positive maybe?
Yeah.
Oh sure, I got 2 minutes.
Looks like gold. Tastes like gold.
It is gold.
Some of this is gold.
Yeah.
Yes, there were some. I gotta admit, there was more positives to this than I thought that there would be. I still think it's the worst episode of TOS ever. I don't know if it's the worst episode of Star Trek anymore, but it's definitely the worst episode of TOS.
I don't know. I think we've got a couple of episodes on the Wheel of Agony now that might challenge that.
I agree.
I
Move
doubt
Along
that.
Home was painful to watch too. That was terrible. But Star Trek,
Move Along Home.
Yeah, take us away. Let's hear.
Give us.
You know what? I'm going to go on for a while, so I want other people to go first, just so that like you guys can cut me off. So let other people go first.
Okay, let's cut him off. Okay.
I'll go. Man, now I'm thinking I think I may have lost it. Maybe there isn't anything about this.
We lost it a long time ago.
Maybe life is meaningless. Yeah, look, it has a certain element of charm to it. I mean, it's not, it's certainly. I don't think they try to present it as we're supposed to take it as this is a serious episode. I feel like there's an element of comedy they're trying to infuse on it. That comes from an opinion from an episode that's 50 years old, mind you. Well, 45 years old at this point. But yeah, I mean, like, the first 20 minutes, I found myself enjoying it quite a bit. So from a tonal kind of aspect, the first 20 minutes, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we're doing another, bad guy. He's got a group of people. He wants to get to the planet. I kind of get it. So the first act works pretty well. That's about it. I wish I stopped at the 19-minute mark now. But yeah, I actually don't have much. What am I thinking? When I came in to record this episode this morning, I'm thinking back and going, yeah, I did like this bit. I did like that bit. But now, I was going to mention the Chekhov scene with his girlfriend, his ex-classmate, and they're kind of reconnecting. I'm thinking, yeah, that wasn't so bad. But now I've rethought it. Yeah, that was actually pretty bloody horrible. Now I think of it. So move on. I got nothing. What can I say? I got nothing.
So we've got some quotes from the ether on our Twitter account.
Okay.
It says, about the fun part of watching that episode is realizing that the tall space hippie was the late actor Charles Napier, which is what Herbert had mentioned, who later played, but here's another fun fact. He later played the singer and driver of the Winnebago of the Good Old Boys and the Blues Brothers.
He did.
Oh, yeah.
So good on you, Bill Dunn Jr.
The Good Old Boys.
He had a very distinct voice, too. So every time you heard him, you knew it was Charles Napier.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in things like The Incredible Hulk Returns. He was in things like Ernest Goes to Hell and Maniac Cop 2.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, the guy, like I said, he was in The Silence of the Lambs.
He had a good career.
Oh, yeah.
So,
he lost face in that movie, though.
Yeah, he played the judge, one of the judges in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
So the guy is not just a...
I don't know what any of this is.
Yeah.
There is something outside of Star Trek guy.
It's not very
I'm going to admit, you guys may be showing your age here just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Anyway, Bill Dunn's got one more. He said, it's rather funny a guy who played cops in Good Old Boys got his start yelling Herbert at William Shatner. So
that's a good part of it, the insult. I was delighted by the insult of Herbert.
Yeah.
Okay, there was Miri, I think. Didn't the kids in that episode have an insult to throw at the crew
the
too?
Adults? Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember what it was though, but I was thinking that it sounded familiar.
Yeah.
It's so long since I saw that episode.
Yeah. All right, Herbert. Give us the good stuff.
Okay, wait, Captain Dove, do you have nothing good to say? Because you just read off somebody else's stuff. I'm not going to let you go that easy.
Good catch, Star Trek guy.
There you go. What do you got, Herbert? Give us some good stuff.
No, I'll give my one good thing.
Okay.
It was cool to see the interactions when they kind of like use the music to kind of fool the crew members into doing their will. That was a kind of cool, like, conceptual thing of the power of the cultism, that they can use their influence to gather more people into their mission. So I thought that was a really good reflection that still stands to this day. It's like, you got to be careful with cults because they can spread and take over the country or ship very easily, and we've seen it happen before not too long ago. So
when they said show your friendship and kind of winked, I thought they were going to do something different there for a second.
Yeah, me too.
I thought we were going a different route, one that may not be legal.
No. All right, Herbert.
Okay. First of all, I cannot be the only one who noticed that this episode had a lot of parallels with Star Trek V.
Yeah,
I believe Star Trek V was a remake of The Way to Eden, personally.
Nice. Yeah, they were both searching for the planet. Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought the chase at the beginning was actually pretty exciting. I'm watching that and I'm going, I don't remember this being this exciting, but, yeah. And, the special editions that they put out with updated special effects probably helped.
Yeah.
Okay, so the aliens in this episode were kind of hokey, kind of cheap, but I do appreciate that we've got a variety of aliens that we have never seen again, to my knowledge. Even if the
They're
ears
all
look kind of
dead.
silly. Yeah. Even if the ears look kind of silly, even if the purple eyebrows look kind of silly, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing these guys pop up again in like Strange New Worlds or even Discovery, you know, just have a guy with purple hair and purple eyebrows so we can kind of go, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I like that the episode at least tried to spark sympathy for Dr. Severus, even though he is a selfish a-hole and was going to kill everybody. I thought that the whole thing about, you know, this place is poison to me, please, I just want to get out of here. I was like, there's a genesis of good characterization there.
And the episode would have been better if they just continued along that line and not turned him villainous in the end.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Make
I think
it also a moral quandary at the end of the episode.
Exactly. I think it would have been a much better episode that way. I have mentioned before, I liked Spock's sympathy with the hippies and why he felt a connection to them, the fact that he was kind of an outsider to his own culture, and they were as well. There was a great touch in this episode where the hippies first start using the sonic weapon, and Kirk says, "Oh, it's over," and Spock is over there going, "No, it's not over." I thought, that's a cool touch, having Spock still hear it, because sometimes I think that they kind of forget that, you know, Vulcans have different abilities.
Yeah.
And
Spock's ears are big.
There's also a great shot in this episode that I completely adored because I did not remember it being that creepy, but whenever the hippies knock everybody out and you see the bridge and everybody's laying on the ground, but you can hear Adam singing, I was like, that's actually super creepy. That is
it was
really good visual.
Really good, yeah.
Okay, and I believe that are all of my notes.
All right,
all of my notes. Are all of my notes. I don't know. I don't know grammar.
It says the teacher.
Like it.
We got one more from our friend Aaron Sugar.
Grups. That's it. It was Grups.
Grups, yeah.
Yes.
Murray
Thank you,
and
Aaron. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's awesome. He
Good
knew.
work.
Yeah. All right, Star Trek guy. I leave the floor to you.
So I want to start by saying when they're all getting knocked out by the ultrasonic weapon, the sound weapon, they all kind of like pad in their way as they fall down. You know, it's kind of like, oh, I'm falling down, but I'm going to catch myself because I don't want to actually get hurt. Nurse Chapel, Maj, if you watch her go down, she catches herself at first, but then she like throws herself to the ground.
Oh.
I love the dedication.
Did you know that scene was not even filmed for this episode? They reused it from Spock's brain.
Oh,
I did not.
Wow.
Yes, because in that scene, whenever Majel takes that header, the lights in sickbay go out. And that's because that was from Spock's brain. So yes, it was a stunt fall so nice they used it twice. But I agree, it was an excellent fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gave it her all. Second, this episode really resonated with me. Being neurodiverse, and I never really in high school I never really fit in or anything like that. I was always an outcast. The only reason that anyone would ever talk to me was so that they could get my answers on the paper, because I had one of my funniest interactions that I quite vividly remember is a girl coming up to me and saying, "Hey, can you tell me what you wrote here? Or can you write a little clearer next time?" I was like, "You're copying my answers. Figure out what I wrote."
Yeah.
But being neurodiverse, I've kind of built my own little community on TikTok that feels like my own little Eden.
Yeah.
So where everyone, it kind of resonated with me. These people that didn't fit in with the world of which they're given, trying to make their own world. And of course that near the end it doesn't really line up with Dr. Severius or whatever, but the other characters, they still have that motivation. And at the end, Spock is like, "I really hope you don't give up looking for your Eden."
Yeah.
And I really like that. I really like that.
I'm sorry, I've got to go off on a tangent here. Dr. Severius, was that a Gargoyles reference by any chance?
No, I forgot his name.
Oh, Dr. Severius was an awesome character in Gargoyles, and I was just like, hey, I know that guy.
What was his name again? Dr.
Severus.
Severus. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, now we know where J.K. Rowling got Severus Snape from.
I've got Dr. Severin with an N on there.
Oh, Severin.
Severus. See, to Google. Here we go.
There we go.
Googles.
To the Googles. Name by
don't wait for me, y'all. Go ahead.
name.
Okay, so the episode just really resounded for me in my personal life, and I really liked it. It's also kind of reflective of today's society. Quite a few people are moving out of the city and moving to farms and things like that because they're done with the congestion, they're done with the smog, they're done with all that. How many short or small houses do you see nowadays where they can just take it wherever they want? They just have a small house that they hook up to the back of their trailer, or they built a small house, they buy a plot of land, and they build a small house out in the country, and it's awesome. I mean, I could never live in a small house personally. I have too much stuff. But I feel like the sentiment of finding an Eden is becoming even more prevalent today simply because people are leaving cities. People are looking for something other than the cities recently.
Well said.
And I think
very, very well said. It was Dr. Severin, Sevrin. I think I was calling him Dr. Severus.
You didn't believe me. You had to trust Google over me.
That was
that is correct. Yes.
Ruins my Harry Potter joke. Thanks a lot.
So another thing I really liked was when Spock's interaction with Dr. Severin when he's in the jail cell was really awesome because Spock's like, hey, I can help you, but only if you help me. Yeah, and I thought that was really logical, very smart. Like, if you can help me, and he laid out his plot. He had a well-researched paper with thesis points, and he was listing everything off. If they become criminals, they can't colonize a planet. No. So I really like that. And sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I did find it unusual for Spock to say, I can use the resources of the ship. It seemed a far more accommodating Spock to me than I might have seen.
Yeah,
before.
It was weird. Yeah, but it's
a
interesting.
good scene. It was a good scene.
Yeah, very good.
Do you realize that if Dr. Severin had just 4 more members of his gang, he would have been Severin of 9?
Oh, that's it.
You got it, Dad joke.
From the studio, Joe.
I'll be over here.
Go ahead, Star Trek guy.
Let me bring up one more thing. I could probably go on for a while, but one more thing is when Dr. Severin is talking to Bones and Kirk, and he goes, "You invent the crime, you charge me, and find me guilty." And I found that very scary because it did feel like they were inventing a crime against him. Well, you're infected with this, but it's only because you live in a highly technological society. We find you guilty of it, and so go to isolation. Yeah. So that was a very scary thought for me that you could be barred from, going to somewhere less civilized simply because you lived in a civilized area.
Interesting.
That's a scary thought for me.
Yeah, it is interesting that even though this was kind of an establishment episode, just talking about the glory of the establishment, that it still inadvertently brings sympathy for Severin and his gang. That they are just trying to go do their thing, and society's not letting them do it. So yeah, I think you've got a great point there.
Yeah, and we all kind of do root for the underdog, though, don't we?
Yeah.
Especially in that kind of thing. But
until he tried to kill everybody, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But your points there, Star Trek guy, really point out that the kernel, the core concept for this episode is solid. It's again, I think it's just the way they delivered it, the packaging of this episode, where I think a lot of us rub up against the wrong way. But those kind of core elements, they would have written into the script. I mean, they're not something that would just was by accident. They've purposely done it. But excellent points. Excellent points.
Could I actually? I know I said one last thing, but I thought of something also important, and it is that I think they did find Eden in that episode. I think 100% they found Eden, and I think the only way an Eden can exist is without humans. I think an Eden cannot exist in the presence of humans. So I think
that's why all the fruit was poisonous.
That's why all the fruit. Nature had to defend Eden. So I think they 100% found what they were looking for, but what they were looking for was protecting itself from them.
Nice. I like that.
I actually wish you'd written this episode now.
No kidding.
You made that so much clearer than I felt that I found while I was watching it. Excellent.
Like I said, I love this episode, but there's different takes of it all around. I just simply try to put to words what I feel about it, and this is coming from someone who was not normal. So I am the opposite of normal. So
normal is boring. It's
crazy.
fine.
Yeah.
You know Herbert's Star Trek guy. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to
You're
call
good.
you Herbert.
Yeah.
No offense, Herbert. All right, should we move
All right,
on to
let's move
my
on.
favorite part?
That's right.
Oh, is it the Wheel of Agony?
The
It's time
Wheel of
for-
Agony.
Here we go. All right,
There we
guys, here we
go.
go. It's that
Okay.
time.
So that face of Galron just reminded me of something. There's another creator on TikTok called The Rose Explodes. She makes some Star Trek content and other content, but she just released a story today where it was you faint and you wake up with the last picture saved on your phone standing over you, and it was a picture of Galron as the sun, and it was absolutely terrifying. So if you get a chance and you're on TikTok, go check out The Rose Explodes and see her latest story because it's hilarious.
I will. I will. Let's
So
spin.
yes,
Let's spin.
we've made some updates, obviously, because of last week. We needed to replace that. Would you like to know what I've replaced it with?
Yes.
Yes.
Profit and Lace.
Oh.
DS
Okay,
Dice.
even I can't redeem that episode.
Yeah, that's move along home. So that's our new addition this week. But I'm gonna start the wheel. Let's get this happening.
Even I can't. Even I don't have anything good to say about that.
If I can actually start the wheel, we've got technical issues, so just bear with me, guys. Maybe just talk about something else as I bring it up.
Let me highlight another great creator that I just made a video about.
Go. Are we working now? For some reason, the sucker's not going to work. Why?
He doesn't want to risk ending up on Profit and Lace is what
Oh,
it is.
okay. What it is because my logo is too big. So you're going to see how the secret sauce is made right now. It's over.
Oh,
Adjust the
nice.
logo.
We're learning the
Nice.
secrets.
Push it on there. Here we go. Now we're ready to go, guys. Let's
All right.
press the button.
Go for it.
Here we go.
Wheel
Here we
of
go.
Agony, spin, spin, spin. Tell us
There
the
we
trouble
go.
that we are in.
What
Oh,
Herbert will we land in next?
What's the one thing we just do not want?
Oh,
Profit and Lace.
Profit and Lace.
Code of honor, man. I don't
Code of
want
honor.
Code
Oh
of Honor.
no.
Yeah, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's press it now.
Ooh, Twisted. Twisted.
The Voyager episode Twisted.
Remind me of this one. I'm bad with titles.
It is the
Okay.
one where all of the rooms on Voyager inexplicably rearrange themselves and Janeway has a stroke.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Janeway has a stroke episode. Oh, this is
Still
great
don't
Star
remember
Trek,
this
guy,
one,
because
but-
you'll be able to get back and rediscover it now.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's a
don't
good
think
part
I've seen
about
this one in forever.
it. Yeah, I
No,
don't
I
remember.
think
it
I've
at
just-
all.
I remember watching it whenever I was in college and thinking, wow,
Yeah.
this is stupid.
Yeah, I could probably get the breakdown of it now if I wanted to. I could probably just bring up what it is.
Oh, I can just look it up really
Yeah,
quick.
just-
I got my phone in my pocket.
It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
anomaly of the week literally rearranges the inside of Voyager. That's what it is.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's everybody wandering around the ship going, that's not where holodeck 2 is supposed to be. What's in here? Oh, that's the men's room.
Yeah.
Sorry, Neelix, didn't know you were in there.
Yeah, they discover an inversion field which twists and distorts the ship's hull. Kez is walking purposely through the ship and eventually enters, and I'm not going to open the link and read the rest. So that's where we're at. So here we go jump from Star Trek OG series all the way now forward to Voyager.
Interesting.
So
All right.
this will be a good one to kind of suss out again. Now, hopefully, Star Trek guy, you're available, so to have another chat about this.
Yeah, we'll see. No promises though. I can't guarantee it.
Yeah, no worries.
He'll watch the episode and go, I really like this. I'm not arguing about this.
Hey, I really like this episode. I didn't really argue with you guys. I just tried to portray it in a different light.
I'm teasing. No, you were excellent. No, fantastic. You had some of the best comments of the night. So,
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
It's not a high bar with this group, but you did really well.
No, not at all. But yeah, I mean, overall, even if they considered this episode one of the worst of the Star Trek original series, even though going back to watch it, it's not really, as much as we groan and make jokes, it's not that horrible to watch it. There's far more crappier stuff on television to watch. They have to
The Turnabout Intruder, I hardly made it through that episode. I hate that episode with a passion.
Wow.
We'll have to make sure it's on the wheel at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Herbert, how do you feel about the Turnabout Intruder? I just need to know really quick.
Oh, I don't think too much. I mean, forgettable more than anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't resonate with me too much. I remember flashes of it. I'd have to rewatch it again.
Sexist. Sexist.
There it is. Yeah.
And
Yes.
you know what's like horrible is that Uhura in the animated series eventually takes command of the Enterprise.
And I love that episode, by the way. That was the Lorelli signal. And I love that episode. It was a great Uhura episode.
And then they retcon it in Enterprise so that Jennifer Hernandez becomes the sister captain to Archer's ship, the NX-02.
Oh.
Yes.
Yep.
Should they have retconned it?
No.
Yes, they should have.
Yes,
Oh,
they should
why?
have, yes.
Oh.
Why
100%. Because
Why?
because Starfleet since the beginning has been about equality. So if a man can be a captain, a woman can be a captain.
Yeah.
So the retcon was a good thing. And the fact that they showed it so that when man first went to space, or first achieved Warp 5 and really started to go out among the stars, a female was there, 2 years later? 3 years later?
2 years later, yeah.
I like that a lot.
Makes sense.
Well, if you remember, Star Trek started out with Captain Pike saying he can't get used to women on the bridge.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
now,
but they retconned that too. So I'm
Yes,
glad they
did.
retconned that
Thankfully,
too.
thankfully, yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. I mean, like, you have to with a show like this that's made in such a different era. Like, if you're going to have a franchise that lasts 50, 60 years, you're going to come across bumps. And we're probably starting to see that too with certain episodes of the Golden Age, Next Generation, DS9, and Voyager. We're rubbing up against concepts and ideas and how they did things. I mean, look at the first season, the way Troy is dressed like a cheerleader,
Yeah.
Like with the
I gotta say, Deep Space Nine, almost every single episode holds up to standards today. I would say pretty well. I mean, they had a lesbian kiss in, I forget the episode.
Rejoined.
They had Dax and her previous symbiote's wife.
Yeah, and of course we had
rekindle their
Garrett,
love.
even though it was never officially. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Garrett being a gay
Garrick, and he and now that they both come out, and I believe they read fan stories together on a YouTube.
Yes, on Alexander Siddig's YouTube channel, yes.
Oh, now I got to watch that. Great. I
It's
have
going
enough
to
to
be
watch.
weird in 30 years' time. People are going to come up against episodes of Strangenewworlds and Discovery and have issues.
Yeah, true.
Just by very nature,
Yeah.
society will evolve and change, and
Yeah.
we'll go, "Oh, that was so wrong," But yeah, there you go. But
It's like, having a dance party on a starship, that's horrible. We can't have that dance party on the starship. Tilly
So
mingling? Tilly mingling? I mean, how can Tilly mingle? It's like, I'm thinking of a specific episode, the one with Harry Mudd, Magic Make the Sanest Man Go Mad.
Which was a great episode, yes.
Oh, amazing episode.
Yes,
but they start with Tilly being super outgoing and stuff, and it's just complete opposite out of nowhere Tilly.
Yeah.
So I found that a little weird.
Yeah, totally. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up. Let us.
It's going to wrap it up. We've already done the aftermath, so I didn't show you the little bumper. So
it's okay.
Come on, you got to let me indulge and just because I love seeing Garrick any chance.
Please.
Now, why don't you go back to your quarters? I'll be along shortly to say hello.
Ugh.
Yeah, there are two ways you can take that comment, really.
Yeah.
Because in a way, it could be very seductive.
Right.
And in another way, it's going to murder you.
Exactly.
Both ways. Erotic and exciting and scary.
I have a question for you guys.
Basic instinct, completely kind of refined and defined right there.
Yeah.
So recently on a live, we were having a discussion about, me and my viewers were having a discussion about if Garrick is underrated or is developed as a character. And I want to know what you guys. I'll say what I think after. But do you guys think that Garrick was underdeveloped?
I think there's always potential for more of Garrick, but I think what we got, I actually thought he was developed quite well. I mean, he is who he is in the beginning. Like, we kind of get a sense fairly early on there's a bit of
that he's not just a simple tailor.
Complexity to him, yes. But the way that's revealed and dealt with in the episode throughout the series, I would say, as an audience member, I was quite fulfilled with what they did with this character. Always want more, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was very well developed, and the secrecy behind his past is part of the development of the character. Yeah, him being so close and, like, only... I don't know how to express it very well, but...
They kept the balance there, didn't they? Because you're right. The strength of his character is his mystery, and they demystified him a little bit, but not completely. And if you had completely demystified him, you would have created a disservice to the character 100%.
Which is why I don't think they should ever show us how the Borg was formed.
I agree.
I put my foot down. Everybody is always like, I want a Borg origin story. No Borg origin story.
And
that would ruin it.
And even if you were to try to do it, I mean, part of that's about evolution, right? They evolved over thousands and thousands.
Yeah, exactly.
Become what they are. So, what is it? They just keep cutting 1,000 years to the future and every different stuff. It's just crazy. Again. You could say that about a lot of franchises. You could say that even about Darth Vader. One of the biggest crimes they ever did was do the story of Darth Vader, when he was just that big bad black villain walking through. And I don't mean black, black,
I know what you mean.
Let's
not get canceled.
But he was threatening because you didn't know who he was. He's just this imposing character who could force choke you. So
I disagree with you. I think that Anakin's development, the development of Anakin Skywalker, was amazing. I love the prequel trilogies personally.
No,
I think getting to know like Anakin Skywalker and what he went through before he became Darth Vader, and how that hate and stuff actually transformed him, like physically and mentally transformed him. Like, I don't think we should ever see how Palpatine became the way he was, because Palpatine needs to be some big mysterious guy. We know he's like leader of the Senate and stuff, but we don't need to know, he was abused as a child, or his mother hung himself as a child.
But I mean, the same thing with Vader. In the original trilogy, they dealt with the character arc.
Yeah.
We knew everything we needed to know. In fact, the prequels are really just expanding upon a little conversation between Luke and Obi-Wan in the cave. I mean, we knew he was a pilot and they served together in the Clone Wars, and the way it's revealed over that original trilogy. An argument could be made, and even, I love the prequels too. I think Revenge of the Sith is a fantastic movie. That really, you didn't need them though. You didn't need them.
I have two hot takes.
I can say that they were extraneous, but I do like them. Go ahead, Herbert.
I have two hot takes. Number one, I think that the best and scariest Darth Vader scenes have been all within the last 7 or 8 years. Starting with Rogue One and Obi-Wan, there were some incredible Darth Vader scenes that made him scary. And, that conversation between him and Obi-Wan at the very end, whenever, he said, you didn't kill Anakin. I did. Yeah. I love that. That was like peak Darth Vader. My second hot take, just going back a little bit, Garrick's the best character that's ever been on Star Trek, period.
Yeah. I'm a Cisco stan. I actually, up here, let me show you, have a signed picture. My sister got it for my birthday of Avery Cisco.
Wow, that's incredible.
And my friend had this custom painted for me for Christmas.
Nice. Wow. That's really good, too.
Yeah, really good job.
So, I'm a Cisco stan all the way. And I wanted to say the scariest moments. What was the new, the game with Cal Estes? Had a really scary Darth Vader as well.
Jedi Order.
Yeah. Fallen Jedi or something like that,
No, the Jedi Order.
Yeah, okay. I didn't play that.
Yeah, that had a terrifying Darth Vader scene in it. So I'm agreeing with you about the Darth Vader being terrifying lately.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know. I just remember as being this kid and seeing him first walk through the hallway. The scene where he goes to with the Dr. Ball. You know, he goes in and goes to
Dr. Ball?
inject. You know, Doctor. They ever see?
Isn't that who Charles Napier had to see after wearing that
No,
costume?
you know, the droid, the medical droid. They called him Dr.
Oh
Ball.
yeah, Dr. Ball. Yeah.
I always thought that was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you're right. From an adult fan of it now, watching those scenes from Obi-Wan and Rogue One, that was because we got to see out his ability, the fact that he can hold a ship with one hand, and and pick up the rebellion, flick them to the ceiling, and we hadn't seen that, because of the limitations of the special effects. But this isn't a Star Wars show.
No, I was just gonna say, well, thanks for watching our Star Trek episode. We're gonna sign off by letting our guest host plug his socials.
Yes,
you can catch our Star Trek guy. Go for it.
Hello, I'm Star Trek Guy. I go by @StarTrekGuy on TikTok, and I also have a YouTube channel @Star Trek Guy. I post at least 2 videos a day, usually one using trending sounds, and one either news, showing off my collection, or just a retrospect.
Awesome. All right, and that's going to wrap it up. Take care, everybody.
The rest of us.
And if you want to check me out, you can check me out at 2BeSeen, the number 2, BE, there's an E missing, SCENE, 2BeSeen. You can check out.
Yeah, there is an E.
Yeah, there's an E missing. It's all good. Captain's Quadrant, Spectrum Sanctorum. You can find me in all those wondrous things on Instagram, TikTok. You can find me as Dis Dungeon, and Twitter and Facebook. You can find me at all those wondrous spaces.
Right. You can find me at Pop Culture Spreader CQ Jason, where I spell my tags correctly.
Nice.
So,
thanks.
Very
Appreciate
good place.
that.
You can find Annie at Vulcan Diver. Poor Annie, we've been able to. She's still a big part of the show, but she's been really busy recently. We'll have her back on as soon as we can get her back on.
Yeah.
And Herbert?
Oh, and you can find me on TikTok at Jason Roy Gaston. And you can also find me online. You can go to that address right there, jasongaston.net, or you can go to jasonroygaston.com.
Excellent. Everywhere. Make sure you share this episode with your friends. Make sure you enjoy Star Trek.
My mom will be watching, so say hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
My mom will probably watch too. That's
Hi,
true.
Mom.
And until next time, my friends, live long and prosper.
All right, let's get twisted for next week.
Yeah.